All right, let's grab we're gonna hop into Del 5, okay?
Okay, we're like...
One second.
Great, awesome. All right, can I hand? Oh, you are pressed. You probably don't want this.
Say it loud! Say it clear! Say it loud! Say it clear! We're gonna
We're going to ask you guys to start shifting if you are not part of the sound or stage managing. We have to make space. People I don't know, you have to move. There's no exceptions for you. Say it loud, say it clear. Say it loud, say it clear. Louder, say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome speaking or whatever, you're not going to fill up this. We're going to have this circle open and empty for space. I'm going to pass. My name is Robin. We are with the Minnesota Immigrant Rights Action Committee. And here are my co-MCs.
Hey everybody, my name is Renee Good. Thank you so much for being here. I'm a proud member of the Minnesota Immigrant Rights Action Committee. Let's hear it again. We are here today to honor the memory of Renee Good. She was a member of our community who was murdered by ICE. Say fuck ICE! That's right. Today, we are here to represent our community and to honor her memory. We are also here because no one is illegal on stolen land. We must remember that no one is illegal on stolen land and that this is not our land. This land belongs to the native people who were here before us. I would like to introduce our first speaker. Her name is Rachel Thunder, and she is with the Indigenous Peoples Protection Movement. Thank you so much, Rachel, for singing to them. Can't say. You're an Askamon,
Past 20, 30 minutes or so. So let's take a small walk back here. There's icy conditions out here. There's a large crowd. I mentioned that self-service is getting weaker and weaker. So I do want to disclose that there is a lot of vulgar language going on, both on signs, both in things that are being announced too. So we just want to disclose that to you, and we apologize if you're joining us and that's something that you do hear. So let's keep on going on. We're going to give the point of view. We're at if you're looking at Powderhorn Park, we're at the northwest corner. So we'll have Mohammed kind of pan over here. There's a little hill that they have set up a stage to gather everybody kind of all together. Again, lots of signs, lots of people from all diverse populations here. People tell us that they are from nearby. Some people tell us that they felt the need to come to this gathering because this is the one that is happening closest to where Renee Good did die just on Wednesday. So let's try and see if anybody will talk to us. We have spoken with just like a few, as we get through the crowd. So let's kind of just show you over here. We're going to back up. Mohammed, what I want to make sure with you is that you're careful walking because we've already slipped a time or two. And we're just going to continue to do the best that we possibly can when reporting on this. So back up on over here. The crowd's getting bigger and bigger. So we have a street that we're right here. If I'm looking at my phone, I'm going to try and tell you what street we're on as we dynamically cover this. We're on 10th Avenue South right now. So I'm looking north, okay? So these crowds are moving south. We're at the northwest corner of Powderhorn Park. I also want our control room to know that for some reason texts are coming easier right now than calls. It was opposite earlier if you need to communicate with me. we can do so there. Behind us right here, Mohammed, I'm going to take a peek right here. We have folks that gathered this morning in these holographic vests. This is something that we've been seeing as we cover these protests since Operation Metro Surge began in early December. And these are folks that have volunteered to kind of control and provide.
We got big crowds today.
And as you see, he's kind of taking the leadership, the reins, and talking to others in those holographic vests, too. So there's the question a lot of times if local law enforcement have been seen, and we have not seen any local law enforcement at all quite yet. This morning, Police Chief Brian O'Hara did speak a little bit about this in the crowds today. Last night was the first time. They said that they saw a little bit, and I want to emphasize their emphasis, a little bit of violence. Police Chief Brian O'Hara, in addition to Mayor Jacob Fry, saying that there were about 29 individuals in Minneapolis that were arrested and released because of the incident last night with the building, the Canopy Hotel in downtown Minneapolis. So, Chloe, our producer right now, I want to let you know I got your message. We're going to continue to walk through to show you the crowd. We're just going to walk slowly. Again, very slippery out here. Crowd expanding, more and more. Other things to know waking up this morning. This is not the only gathering that's happening in the Twin Cities. We're learning more and more to do our best to cover a lot of gatherings that are happening through the Twin Cities. We have a reporter that was on the ground at a gathering in St. Louis Park. We know of a lot of activity happening in suburbs too, and we know our viewership is a very large area, so we're going to try and do our best we can with staffing to show you all different perspectives, as that's what we have seen too. We've seen a lot of different perspectives, so I just want to make sure, our man Mohammed is a really good photojournalist, and he's walking behind, and I want to help this guy get up. Are you okay? I talked about slippery conditions. Are you okay?
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
All right. Yeah.
And this looks like a crew from Univision. Let me ask you, ¿de dónde eres?
Huh?
Where are you from? Where are you guys from?
Univision.
Okay. Yeah, ¿dónde though? Where are you?
We are based in Florida.
Oh, okay.
Miami.
Bienvenidos.
So
we're with WCCO.
We don't know anything.
Exactamente. Yeah. Will you guys be safe, okay? All right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nice to meet you. These are not the only journalists from out of state, even internationally, that we have seen here. We spoke with another crew from Miami. They said that they were just from Miami too, or somewhere in Florida that they noted. Yesterday I spoke with a Canadian news source too. So as we know, Minneapolis getting international coverage. Not only just the state of Minnesota is honed in on us, but ever since Wednesday, and honestly ever since Operation Metro Surge began, and since 2020, we know all eyes have been on Minnesota. Mohammed, let's kind of give the perspective from this angle. We walked more south of where we were. Let me kind of, as you follow us, show you where we are. I'm just looking on a map right now. We have 10th Avenue South and 32nd Street, East 32nd Street. That's about the point of view where we're at right now on the northwest side of Powderhorn Park. That's where folks were told to gather. And we're just going to give a second for me to gather some notes here. And Mohammed, I'll just let you go ahead and show the viewers your point of view, and then I'll step in, guys, in a second to talk, but we'll just let the viewers kind of soak in the scene right now. And again, if you're just joining us, please be aware of the vulgar language that you're hearing. Please be aware of the signage that has vulgar language, because that's something that dynamically we can't control at times. Mohammed, our photojournalist, is looking through a viewfinder, so from your perspective, it's kind of hard in his role to look around about what he's going to be running into, what he's going to be seeing. So our crew here is going to do the best that we absolutely can with this. So a little quieter. We're hearing Renee's name be announced. You're seeing that sign right there. You can't love the culture and not support the people. Do you mind, man, if I ask you where you're from?
I am
or where you
a
travel
citizen here from Minnesota.
Oh, okay. And where do you live now?
Plymouth.
Okay. I have a mic on me, guys. I don't have a stick mic connected at the time. We do have one on us. But anyway, she said that she was born and raised here. She didn't travel far from here. Ma'am, tell me why you felt the need to get up off your couch today to come to Powderhorn Park with your sign that you obviously took time to create. And I'm going to do my best. I have a small microphone right here, so I'll do my best.
I do have family, friends, and people around me that are immigrants and that have come here to, support their children, give them a better life here in the American country. They really just want to be here to support their family and give their kids a better education, more opportunities. I personally came from immigrant parents. They were able to support me in college, in school. Now I vouchered in accounting and able to support them in their life as well. They're good people. They've never hurt anybody. They couldn't possibly hurt a fly. They don't break the law. And right now they haven't left their house since August because they're afraid.
So you're saying you personally know family members that haven't been wanting to leave their house since you say August?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that like?
They're just afraid to leave, get groceries, go to their kids' sports and events. It's sad. They want to support their children and the things that they want to do. But as of right now, they can't leave their houses. And they're just afraid. As a citizen right now, as a person of color, I have to hold my passport just in case ICE comes to me. And I shouldn't have to. I'm a citizenship. I shouldn't have to be afraid to see police in Minnesota. But, it's the reality of it as of right now.
Thank you for your time. You're saying that you yourself carry your passport with you when you're out and about.
Yeah.
Have you had any encounters with federal law enforcement since they've been here? Well, they've always been here, but since their Operation Metro Surge began in early December, and now obviously last week saying that they've deployed 2,000 agents.
I have personally not, but I know friends that have, and even showing their passport, they're still getting harassed. They're still being questioned. They're being asked where their family is, if they know immigrants, if they can release them, and it's no, they don't have to give that information out. And a passport even a license should be enough to justify that they're a citizenship, and they shouldn't have to be questions. And but
I just have one last question for you. If you could describe this environment for folks that aren't here, that are joining us on our stream right now at WCCO, how would you describe it?
I would describe it as peaceful. We just want justice for the people that came here with nothing, that want support for their children. As of right now, everyone seems peaceful. Everyone has wonderful signs. We're united. Minnesota nice and all. We're just trying to make sure people here are supported and welcome. But yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Hopefully it stays peaceful, but no one ever really knows. So
thank you for your time and for your perspective. As you see, that's just one example of just one. We've been trying to get a kind of number of how many people are here. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to stop talking, and we're just going to continue to dynamically cover this. We'll come back to us. So thank you so much for joining us on our stream. Stick with us online, on air, and on your mobile device, and we'll do our best to show you what's going on in your community. Thank you.
A boy is a snack and needs a snack.
Oh, okay. We're gonna pop back. Hey, you've got Frankie McClister here on WCCO's live stream. I'm hoping you can hear us. There's just a little cell phone technicalities out here at Powderhorn Park, and that's simply due to the crowd. So we're going to work our best to show you, set the scene for you, kind of show you what's going on here. Definitely the largest movement we know of in the area. Let me just get all buckled up here for our control room if you can hear me. Texting is definitely the best right now. I'm going to try and dial in right here, and we'll walk you through. We just heard from the leaders that have a stage set up on the northwest side of Powderhorn Park. Awesome. Thank you, Chloe, and Chloe's our producer. So if you hear me say her name a few times, this is the best way that we can communicate. Let me go ahead and paint a picture of exactly where you are. If you're just now joining us, thank you very much for your trust in our coverage. We are standing here right now on 10th Avenue South and East 32nd. So if you're familiar with Minneapolis itself, there's the downtown area just straight ahead. We're not far from where Renee Good passed away on Wednesday. So this is a huge movement that has started here at Powderhorn Park. We have our photojournalist Muhammad Ali right here. I am going to ask that maybe you guys take the coverage from the chopper up in the air, because there's some profanity that is being screamed around, and unfortunately that's something we're just going to have to dynamically work around. So there's some signs too, if you're just joining us, that we want to remind you that it's kind of hard to break away from at times too. So please keep that in mind. Should we walk down the street and kind of see how? Okay, it seems like the chanting has calmed down, so if you guys want to come back to us, that is fine. We are on 10th Avenue South and East 32nd Street. We're at a gathering that's happening at Powderhorn Park. You have Frankie McClister here with WCCO on the line, photojournalist Muhammad Ali. It's very icy, so Muhammad, your backpack is coming off your shoulder. I'm just going to grab it real quick. I know it's heavy, man. Thank you for what you're doing. We're doing our best to show you the picture if you're just joining us. There's some signs. There is some chanting. Sometimes you might see some. I'm just going to squeeze right by you, man. Thank you so much. Sometimes you might see some profanity. You might hear it. Right now, it's calm. It appears to me I am facing south. Behind me is north, so that would be downtown Minneapolis. We're not too far away from where Renee Good passed away. It sounds like I'm getting word that they have the chopper aerials in the sky at the moment, and I can actually see them in our sky. So that's just another point of view. We're gonna do our best to move closer to the stage as we're being asked to do. We're just gonna move closer to the stage as we're being asked to do. So thank you. It's definitely the coldest day out here. Clearly that's not stopping the crowd. There's a little slipping and sliding, so I'm going to do my best as I cover this to kind of be aware of our security guard that is gracefully staying with us, and Muhammad right here too. Seems like this is a clear path. There has to be hundreds and hundreds. We haven't seen any local law enforcement out here now. But we did chat with Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara this morning. That he did note that last night's movement in downtown Minneapolis did have several arrested. They were let go this morning. It was about 29 of them. He said that an officer or so did get ice thrown at them. So one of them was injured last night. But for the most part, Mayor Jacob Fry, Minneapolis Police Chief, I'm sorry. Probably we had eyes on the back of our head sometimes, right? And Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara saying that most everything so far in the city has been very peaceful. They are just asking that to remain the same. So what we're doing right now is we're walking towards the stage. A massive, massive crowd. Just going to move right back in front of you. So the crowd has expanded here more and more and more as we've gotten here. It was supposed to start at 1. The group that has been gathering, we pop up here for a second. Cool. We're going to walk up these stairs real quick to kind of show you how massive the crowd. So if Chloe, our producer, if by chance you're able to come to us so we can show you how big the crowd is. Right now you're looking at 10th Avenue South. We're at the intersection-ish of 10th Avenue South and East 32nd Street. This is Powderhorn Park right here. Photojournalist Muhammad Ali showing you the view. I will say the crowd, peaceful so far. We've spoken to quite a few who have traveled from near, traveled from far. We're aware of a lot of the movements that are happening at different suburbs too. But some tell me that they are here Thanks for sticking with us as we dynamically cover this. I'm getting word that our picture is having issues. So there's a large crowd, and that's one of the things that kind of you have to work around as we continue to cover this, because what we use actually is cell phone tower a lot with our coverage. So as you know, whenever there's a Vikings game, a concert or something, a large group, it's harder and harder to communicate. So we're doing our best. We're giving this to you raw. We're giving this to you live. We're here. As you see the chanting getting higher and higher. As the day goes on, Mohammed, let's look at this woman that just came out of her house. I'm assuming she lives there. I'm just going to go ask her real quick. I'm unsure if you guys have our footage. I'm just going to ask this woman, hi ma'am, how are you? I'm Frankie. I'm a journalist with WCCO TV. Yeah. Just wondering, I saw you come out of your house. What's it like having this happen outside of your house right now? I see you hoping to join the crowd. She says it's right. But what is the feeling in the air is like?
fight back.
To give you a picture of what the crowd looks like above. It's massive, as you know. And what I'm going to do is kind of start to break down how a lot of this has brought international attention. So we have, and it seems like our picture is back. So what I'm going to have Mohammed do right now is just kind of pan and show us what we're looking at. So at the northwest side, I'm hearing that you guys can now see us and hear us. Thank you. We're trying our best. There's a lot of people which cell coverage kind of in a tough spot, so we're just going to continue to work on this. We're at Powderhorn Park. What we know is there are several protests going on around the state today. There have been, obviously, since Wednesday's shooting. This is probably the closest that we're aware of from where Renee Good did die on Wednesday too. So we had Wednesday, we had Thursday. Wednesday night, let's talk about that. The area, the street that she got killed on, Portland, that area seeing a large candlelight vigil that on WCCO.com and some of our social media channels you can get pictures of. Since then, on Thursday, we saw a lot of activity outside of the Federal Whipple Building. The Federal Whipple Building is an immigration court that has been in our area for a while. This court has seen a lot of protesting activity as when, folks get detained, as the court kind of deals with cases like this. They've seen a lot go in and out of that building. That is south. Very far from us. Not very far, probably about like 15 minutes or so. Okay. It's just a photo of him telling you that he's going to be back. I think he needs to just grab something right there. So what you're seeing right now is they're chanting "ICE out." I need to make sure we can see him. Thursday, as I was saying, had the out Whipple Building, which is alongside MSP International Airport. Whenever sorts. Officers So on Thursday, we do not as much of a crowd outside Wednesday. Last night in downtown Minneapolis. Let's kind of change the frame here, Mohammed, as we're still live. Okay. Sure. Yep. Let's kind of give the viewers a different perspective over here. So if you can see me okay, we're looking north, and you'll see these crowds starting to move slower and slower. It's obviously a massive crowd. Our desk is actually working to get numbers of the crowd out here. We don't see any law enforcement out here, but we do see a large presence of organizers. Organizers have those holographic vests. I don't see any. I know maybe a few back there in your point of view. When we first got here, there was a large gathering of folks dancing behind me there. We saw folks come together and giving out free burritos to each other. There was an Instagram post that went out and a social media post that went out by the Minnesota Immigrant Rights Action Committee. Their post said, "ICE out of Minnesota, rally in March today at 1 p.m. right where we are right now." In their post, it said, "See you there. When immigrant rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up and fight back." And I'll tell you guys, as we've been covering this since Operation Metro Surge began back in early December, Operation Metro Surge is the Department of Homeland Security's operation on the Twin Cities metro area. That was before, at the end of the month of December, coverage, which has heightened the spotlight on Minneapolis. Mohammed, I think what's best if what we do is if we disband from up here and start to walk this way a little. We'll try and do that. The crowd's just starting to move, so I think it's best if you're just joining us, thank you so much for trusting with your with our coverage. I see a few folks down there, but the thing is there's such a big crowd, so there's got to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I'm not even exaggerating here. We're working our best to get you the exact number if we can. A lot of times that number comes from law enforcement, and there is not a lot of law enforcement here. So that's the biggest thing right now. We're working with cell service. I'm trying to communicate best with our control room here. We have choppers in the sky to give you a big overview. We do know that this isn't the only one in the area today. This is just the one closest to where Renee Good did pass away on Wednesday. On Thursday, we know that there was a lot of action outside of the Federal Henry Whipple building. Just yesterday morning was when we saw the city, I'm actually unsure of what agency, so I want to clarify that right now, but the barriers that were created by those that live nearby, they were removed from the street itself. So that's something we saw yesterday. So the street, Portland Avenue, that Renee Good was on when she passed away, is now open. The Whipple building, which is next to MSP International Airport, that did see new concrete barriers be put up by an agency we are unsure of. The Whipple building is known to be the Federal Immigration Court here. There's some profanity here, so what we're going to do, go to the chopper area view, and then I'll let you know when you can come back. Doing a coverage, but obviously dynamic situation, super fluid. This is just one of the protests happening here around the state, and we're going to go to our Reg is what I'm hearing. Reg?
That's our Frankie McLister, who is live at Powderhorn Park there with a crowd that we are looking at from our Sky 4 shot that we estimate to be into the thousands. Lots of people are gathered there in protest to the ICE shooting that left 37-year-old Renee Good dead. Right now we are seeing, they are live at the scene. Frankie McLister is being very careful because there is a lot of colorful language being used out there at Powderhorn Park, but our view from Sky 4 just shows just how massive of a crowd it is right now. Now, I know earlier today, Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hare, as well as the Mayor Jacob Fry, were commending people who were showing out at these protests for being calm and remaining peaceful. They're saying this is exactly the way they want us to behave. This is the Minnesota way, that we will show up, they will exercise their First Amendment rights by being present, by showing what they are out there to do to protest and saying their list of demands. We are hearing that they really want the ICE agent who was involved in this shooting to be reprimanded, to be fired. They also want ICE out of the city of Minneapolis. They also want state lawmakers to be involved, state officials to be involved in the investigation into the shooting that left 37-year-old Renee Good dead. But right now we are in Powderhorn Park. Yeah. So what we're hearing right now is last night there was a massive group of people in East Downtown Minneapolis where there were about 30 people who were detained. They were arrested and released because they were making noise at the Canopy Hotel there, not far from US Bank Stadium. They were being very loud because they were told that ICE agents were actually staying on that property. As a result, they marched from that Canopy Hotel all the way to the Depot Renaissance Hotel, where there was some damage to that property. And when they went back to the Canopy Hotel, that someone had breached the actual hotel and went inside. That's when troops moved in and made sure that they were State Patrol, the DNR were all there. They formed a perimeter and they asked people to disperse, saying it was disorderly. Like we said earlier, 30 people were arrested and detained for a while, but then released. Some of those were throwing ice and snowballs at some of the officers that were there, and so that was the reason for some of those arrests, because they were being disorderly. And once again, Mayor Jacob Fry, as well as Police Chief Brian O'Hara, has asked the crowds that do exercise your First Amendment rights, but please do so peacefully and lawfully. Back now live at looking at Sky 4 there in Powderhorn Park, which is in South Minneapolis, not far from the scene where Renee Good lost her life. They're estimated to be thousands of people there, marching, chanting, showing their distaste with ICE being in our city. This is exactly what they were telling. Yeah. So we can listen closely. A lot of people are there, bringing their families out, showing the younger generation just exactly what their First Amendment rights are, and protesting there. It looks like the crowd is marching down Lake Street. They have by the Midtown Global Market there, and they're marching down Lake Street, showing their numbers, massive numbers of people who are displeased at what is happening in the city of Minneapolis at this hour. Lots of ICE agents are in the city. We're hearing that they are all about around town. So this is the way that Minnesotans are gathering here at Powderhorn Park. This started around 1 o'clock today. They were all out there in numbers. According to our Frankie Mellister, who is on the ground, our boots on the ground right there, he says that he has seen no presence of law enforcement there at this hour.
Will someone let you
So
in?
Frankie is on the ground talking to different people who all have different reasons for coming out and being a part of this mass demonstration. But right now, it does look like the crowds are marching down Lake Street. That's near the Midtown Global Market there, showing the numbers that are out there. It's massive. It might, as Frankie said earlier, might be one of the largest demonstrations we've seen since the incident on Wednesday. We're not sure if Frankie is marching with the crowd or if he is still standing there in Powderhorn Park, but those numbers look incredible. As he said earlier, we'll get the exact number or estimate from law enforcement. At this time, Frankie Mellister says there does not appear to be a lot of law enforcement in that area. Right now, the crowds seem to be mostly peaceful and lawful, hearing no calls for assistance or no police presence there at all. These protesters have gathered to show their support of the family of Renee Good and also to make demands. They are calling for the arrest of the ICE agent who was involved in her shooting. They're also calling for ICE agents who number in about 2,000 here in the Twin Cities area to leave the state of Minnesota. So right now they are showing their might with the numbers. I think Frankie spoke earlier with a young lady who brought her child there and stated that she had friends and had relatives who were afraid to leave the house, that this is why she came out to make sure that she was a part of this protest to let people know that they don't feel comfortable with ICE. Representative Ilhan Omar was at the Whipple building, another site of a bunch of protests since Wednesday. She said she was denied entrance into that Whipple building, trying to see exactly what the ICE agents were doing, if there were people being held there who were arrested by these ICE agents. She was denied entrance into those facilities. I believe that Representative Andrew Craig was there with her as well. So they were outside the Whipple building, basically expressing their discontent with not having access to what's going on with federal authorities here. barriers went up at that building yesterday, so it is kind of a closed campus. That is something that is regulated by federal agents because it is a federal, Whipple building is a federal building there on the Fort Snelling campus. But right now, back to Powderhorn Park and marching down Lake Street outside of the park. Looks like it's by the Global Midtown Market there, and we're seeing people taking to the streets with their signs and their chants, letting people know that they are not happy with ICE agents in our city. I think Frankie Mellister's boots on the ground. We can go live back to Frankie. Frankie, what are you seeing right now?
Yeah, hey, Reg, we actually wanted to give our viewers a different perspective here. So we had a bystander that allowed us up in his building. So I'm going to step out of the frame. Our photojournalist, Muhammad Ali, going to give you just kind of a different view of the crowd. We know we have the chopper up in the air, but this just shows you right here on the ground. We were down in the thick of it there, just how big this crowd is. They're trying to move north. I know you've been trying to paint like a picture of where things are. Where we are right now is the northwest corner of Powderhorn Park. This very moment, we're on 10th Avenue South, just south of East 31st Street. So you see the crowd is trying to move, but they are kind of in a condensed area. 10th Avenue South is only really so big. So the crowd's moving very slow as these things work, as the crowd moves more and more, as things process, they get more spread out and things go faster. A few things I want to point out that I've noticed today so far. Peace out here, a lot of unity. We have asked people to describe the scene, and those are two different adjectives that I was told. We've seen folks of all ages from all areas that have traveled here because this is the movement that we are aware of that's very close to where Renee Good passed away on Wednesday. So the street is completely closed, as you can tell. The intersection, I'm looking as our photojournalist Muhammad Ali gives you the perspective out the window, but I can see north towards downtown Minneapolis at the intersection of 31st and 10th, where they have that intersection blocked off. So it looks like the march is doing a little movement east on East 31st Street. So they're walking up 10th Avenue South and moving east to East 31st Street. I'm unsure of where things will go from there. It looks like on my map, and I want to let our producer Chloe know I did lose you in my ear. So feel free to text me. I'm just looking at my phone right now describing the map. But it looks like on the map, East 31st Street is blocked off too. So there was an organizer or a group of organizers that had a stage. I'm going to come back over here, Mohammed. The group of organizers had a stage in the northwest corner of the park kind of behind us. And that is where they kind of gathered around on a stage and told folks what they were going to be doing. We were unable to hear that exactly, but we know this was organized by a group in a viral social media post that went out called the Minnesota Immigrant Rights Actions Committee. They were chanting a lot about saying immigrants are welcome here. A lot of the signs are obviously targeting ICE. And I'm reading one right now that says, "We love our immigrant neighbors." Another saying, "Arrest Jonathan Ross." And pictures of even Secretary Kristi Noem that say impeach her down there. It's kind of hard to dynamically cover this with the profanity that is going on because there's plenty of that too. We're hearing chanting, we're seeing signs. But the crowd just massive. The organizers that you are seeing in those holographic vests, that's like a huge group that gathered together before this began at 1 p.m. And it's 2 p.m. now, and the crowd has just thickened and thickened. But those organizers gathered together and had some sort of meeting that we could observe before 1 p.m. So they were likely discussing what they were going to be doing, who was going to be guiding. A lot of times these organizers work together to guide all of the folks that come and join, all the community members, kind of give it some sort of lead and movement. We're unsure of how long this is going to go. Obviously, you're seeing the crowd not move that fast because of the vast size of it, guys. I mean, if Muhammad can show you all the way back in the park, Muhammad, if possible, just it's catching my eye right now, Reg, because it's so deep back there. Powderhorn Park, a big park, but we've been seeing some footage on our chopper that shows the crowd from the aerial view, but just like right down here, you can see the depth. And it's just, the crowd is going all the way down 10th Avenue South and on East 33rd Street. So a few things I want to bring up. This is Saturday. The incident happened on Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, just 3 days after Renee Good did pass away, just blocks away from this area, if you're familiar. There's several protests going on around the state that we know. This is the one closest to the area that she passed away. About 30 folks were detained last night. They were cited by Minneapolis police and released. And this is because there's a hotel in downtown Minneapolis, the Canopy, that protesters said agents were staying at. So they went there. There were people with drums. There were people shining a light on the hotel. But Minneapolis police ended up moving in with the Minnesota State Patrol and calling it at the end an unlawful assembly. So they ended up, it seems like Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara said, detained about 30 folks. He said that one or so of his officers, I think it was one, I want to just clarify that, I think it was just one, did have ice thrown at them and got a little injured, but are going to be okay. But last night, that is the only, should I say, unpeaceful movement that we have seen thus far. Mayor Jacob Frey this morning calling for protesters to just remain calm. He said that he was proud of what he was seeing in Minneapolis. We also know that community members down in Richfield held a press conference today about the arrests at Target. That's a video we were able to obtain. I posted that on my Facebook page, but also WCCO.com has a lot of information about what happened at the Richfield Target. I'll move back into frame here, Mohammed. The Richfield Target saw two folks that were taken inside like the front doors, and we know that Chief Bovino of the U.S. Border Patrol has been here too. So we've seen a lot of him around. I personally have seen him outside of the Federal Whipple building too, and we've actually seen signs out here that do talk about Bovino, these folks that we've seen against his actions. Representative Ilhan Omar says that she was denied access to the ICE processing center at the Whipple building this morning. That's something else that we're learning, and we're also just hearing of different incidents across the state, whereas ICE, it seems like, isn't only now targeting the Twin Cities, but we've heard of different suburbs that have seen their agents too. Chloe, our producer, I know we have Reg Chapman on the line too. Guys, I'm going to toss it back to you so we can move out of this individual space. We'll kind of move down and give you a different perspective from the front of where the march is happening, and then if you guys could come back to us, that would be fantastic. Thanks for your viewership.
And thank you, Frankie Lister, on the ground there in Powderhorn Park with a view from an apartment to show you just how massive the crowds are there. Now, there was another press conference a little earlier this morning in Richfield where residents gathered there to express their discontent with the company Target, which is based here in the city of Minneapolis. They are concerned that Target is allowing these ICE agents to stage in their parking lots, and they're calling for Target to become more of behind Minnesota residents who do not want ICE here in the community. They're telling Target that they should not have allowed agents to go into a store and make arrests there, and that's why they had that press conference today in Richfield, and they're asking Target Corporation to not allow ICE agents to enter their stores or to stage in their parking lots. As Frankie Lister was saying there in Powderhorn Park, it's hard to know how many people are out there gathered. There is some movement there. They are moving down East Lake Street in front of the Midtown Global Market, letting their voice voices be heard. They do have certain demands there. They are asking for ICE to be out of the state of Minnesota. They are also asking for the ICE agent who may be responsible for the death of Renee to be fired, Jonathan Ross. They really want him to be fired. So as you see here, our look from Sky 4 showing the movement there of the people that are leaving Powderhorn Park, spilling onto the streets in Minneapolis and South Minneapolis there on Lake Street, or approaching the Midtown Global Market there. It's hard to say how many people are actually gathered there, but it looks like thousands of people are coming, and as Frankie says, the numbers continue to swell. We also have our Uba Ali, who is there on the ground talking to different people, because people have different reasons for being out there. We did hear Frankie earlier speaking to one person talking about how they came out because they have relatives who are fearful, who are afraid to come out of their apartments, afraid to go out and get food, or afraid to go to sporting events to support their children because they are afraid of being arrested by ICE agents. But right now, as we see, there may be thousands of people on the ground in South Minneapolis, not far from the spot where 37-year-old Renee Good was shot and killed by an ICE agent. Right now, we also want to warn you that there is some graphic language being used, and there are some signs with some profanity, so please, the warning going out to our viewers right now on CBS News Minnesota on our stream. We want to make sure that you are aware that there may be some foul language used, as well as some signs that may have some expletives on there. But right now, we are looking at the movement of the people from Powderhorn Park onto the streets there in South Minneapolis. It's not just a parade of people. We see there are cars there. They're using drums. They're using whatever they can to make the noise, to get the attention of officials that they want, one, ICE to be out of the state of Minnesota, and they also want that ICE agent, Jonathan Ross, to be arrested and possibly charged for the murder of 37-year-old Renee Good. We have heard from Renee's widow, her partner, and she has been saying that Renee is pure sunshine and pure love. The family is devastated and has been asking for their privacy. We've not heard from them on camera, but in that statement they released, they talked about how they searched for a place to be home, and they found that home in South Minneapolis. They found comfort in that community and decided to stay there and to spread love. They said that they showed up with whistles on Wednesday, January 7th, but others showed up with guns. She says that her life has been shattered ever since. That's why so many people are coming out. So many people say that they want to support Renee Good's family. They want her legacy to be a strong legacy here in state of Minnesota and across the country. And they also want their voices heard, that they want ICE out of this community. We talked about earlier at the Whipple building, and Representative Ilhan Omar was there and denied access to go inside that building where a lot of ICE agents are staged. They didn't know if some of the people that have been arrested were actually inside the Whipple building. They went to see inside. They wanted to do a congressional type of visit, and they were denied entrance to that building. They were upset. They had a press conference earlier today, and as I said just a little bit ago, there was another press conference in Richfield for people calling out Target Corporation, which is based here in Minnesota, asking them not to let ICE agents be staged in their parking lot or to enter their stores to make arrest of anybody that is there. Right now, we're looking at Sky 4. We're showing you Powderhorn Park and the movement of these more than, I'm gonna guess and say a couple thousand of people who are there. According to our Frankie Lister, who's on the ground, more people continue to show up with signs, with noisemakers. They are letting their voices be heard, that they are not happy with the presence of ICE in our community. Now, late last night, there was a display of protesters in East Downtown near the Canopy Hotel, not far from US Bank Stadium. 30 people were arrested and detained and cited because that crowd got a little violent. There were some snowballs thrown at ICE agents, as well as some destruction of property. Mayor Jacob Fry and Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara did come out and say they are grateful for how peaceful people have been and how lawful they have been, and they want people to continue to be that way as they exercise their First Amendment rights. Once again, you're looking at these live pictures from Powderhorn Park, where this event started about 1 o'clock, and now people are beginning to walk into the streets of South Minneapolis. They're passing by the Midtown Global Market, and those numbers, that's just incredible. Just this view from Sky 4 just shows how Minnesotans are really coming together. I know when we were out at 34th and Portland yesterday and the day before, there was such a sense of community. When I was there, I saw neighbors who were being very welcoming, offering hot drinks to people as well as water. Neighbors had written on their windows, "Toilets here," allowing people who were coming out in support of Renee Good to use the restrooms in their houses. So a big sense of community. Food trucks were lined up outside the 34th and Portland area, offering free goods to people who were there, showing support for 37-year-old Renee Good and her family. Once again, her partner did come out and say that them and their 6-year-old child and family dog found refuge in South Minneapolis. They were welcomed by the community and set up shop and said they decided to spread love. They said that day on January 7th, on that Wednesday, that they showed up in support of their community, said they had whistles, but others had guns, and that's what led to the tragic death of Renee Good. Once again, we're looking at Powderhorn Park, where this event started at 1 o'clock. A nice protest of people, so far peacefully and lawfully. They are now spilling onto the streets, showing their support of Renee Good. We do have our Frankie Mellister on the ground, who is boots on the ground, has been there since the event started. We also have our Uba Ali, who was there. She has been talking to people about why they decided to get out. It's not really warm outside, guys. It's a little brisk outside, but they are battling the elements, the weather elements, and making sure they are exercising their First Amendment rights. Let's make sure we take a look at just how massive these crowds are. This view from Sky 4 is amazing for people to look at, that many people would show up during this type of weather to exercise their First Amendment rights. I think we have our boots on the ground reporter, Frankie Mellister, who has made himself way outside that apartment. You're back down there with people. Frankie, what are you seeing right now?
Reg, well, first of all, I'm sorry. I'm just dealing with all these cords. We are having a hard time with connection here because it's super crowded out here. There's a massive crowd. We're at the corner of 31st and 10th. I think I've got everything. I was just connecting in to actually listen to you. But yeah, this is how it's going out here. The crowd moving pretty slow because obviously the street is only so big and the crowd is definitely bigger than the street can handle. So if you're just joining us, I do want to warn you that there is some profanity in some of the chants. There are some signs that show profanity too. But I do want to clarify, right now, it's been pretty darn peaceful. We saw a lot of people that I've asked them, you can hear the profanity now. They're upset. And there's a lot of people that have come from near, they've come from far. We just turned on 32nd. I believe this is 32nd, 10th Avenue. Looking behind us. I'm sorry, we just turned on, bear with me, guys. Yeah, 31st Street. So this is the scene here. We're heading east. Downtown Minneapolis is that way. Just trying to get my mic a little far away.
I don't know if you can hear me, Frank. Do we know where the crowd is heading? They seem to be heading outside of Powderhorn Park. Do we know where they're going?
We are headed east, so I'm unsure actually where this is expected to end. Let me ask an individual right here. Ma'am, do you know exactly where everyone is marching to? And where?
No idea.
Okay. And how long have you been out here yourself?
We've been out here for probably 45 minutes, an hour.
Where did you travel from?
We live just in Longfellow.
Describe the environment out here right now, given you live nearby.
I'm here with my 4-year-old and feel very comfortable and safe with it. It feels fantastic to be part of yet another unfortunate movement, and I'm really happy we're here today.
I see you getting emotional.
Yeah. we shouldn't be here, and we've done something like this very recently.
Thank you for your time. Stay safe out here, okay? Hey, Reg, I think my producer Chloe is asking us to toss back to you. We're going to try and move ahead of this crowd, try and get some of those questions answered to see where this is expected to end, and come back to us because we'll have a different point of view in a few, okay?
All right, thank you, Frankie McAllister, live in that crowd. And I think we also have our Uba Ali, who may be set up to talk to us. I know, Uba, you've been talking to people since you got there on the ground. And what are people telling you, Uba, about why they are there?
I think the biggest message we're hearing right now, Reg, is people say they've been wanting to be in community. They feel lost. They're looking for some kind of to feel like they're a part of something much bigger while making sure to keep Renee Good's name going. A lot of people say what they're seeing happening on the ground is nothing that they ever thought would happen. And I'm sorry about the obscenities that you're hearing. It's really tough to kind of go around that. But as we continue to march down East Lake Street with these folks, I mean, there's hundreds of people here chanting. We've seen dancers out here. We see so many different signs. A lot of people, many don't even know each other, but say they wanted to be shoulder to shoulder to show the federal government that Minnesota stands with one another. They say Minnesota stands with their immigrant communities. And as we continue to walk here, we also, I have to mention, there's seniors, there's folks that are also bringing their children, saying it's important to show the younger generation what it means to stand up for what they say is right. Now, we've seen these demonstrations since Wednesday when Renee Good was shot and killed by that federal agent. Again, I apologize for those obscenities, but again, on the ground, very peaceful still. A lot of people just being moved by these chants. And as you can imagine, trying to facilitate a great, large, I should say, crowd is not easy. At times we've seen ambulances try to get down and a lot of people moving out of their way. So again, a lot happening here, but the biggest message is that it remains peaceful, and we haven't seen any law enforcement just yet.
I don't have my phone. Have someone... You know, I know the obscenities. You're trying to do a great job. You're doing a great job of reporting. You can't stop the obscenities because it all began Wednesday when Mayor Jacob Fry used the F word to say he wanted ICE out of our town. And so the obscenity actually, they started with our mayor, who actually said that the videotape that he witnessed and saw of the shooting of 37-year-old Renee Good was BS. And he also used the F word when saying that ICE should get out of town. We're talking about Uba, who was live there in Powderhorn Park watching the crowds go by, and she said a lot of people wanted that sense of community. They wanted to be a part of something much bigger than they were, and that's why we see these massive crowds. A lot of people have their own reasoning for being there, but as she said, the biggest part is being a part of community, wanting to have a sense of being a part of something that's much bigger than them. Frankie McAllister talked to a woman there as they were marching east, he said, from Powderhorn Park, and she said they've been through this before, and they just felt like they had to be there to be a part of this community movement. So far, Frankie has told us that he has not seen any law enforcement there at that scene, and we did speak to Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara earlier today. He spoke as well as with Mayor Jacob Fry, who asked everybody who is exercising their First Amendment rights to do so peacefully and lawfully, and that's what it looks like they are doing right now in South Minneapolis. They are reacting peacefully and lawfully to everything that is going on there. So as you see, the view from Sky 4 just shows the crowds are massive, and according to Frankie and Uba, who are boots on the ground, they are basically people who continue to come. People are running to that scene, trying to be a part of this, wanting to be a part of community, and that's exactly what they are doing. As we were reporting earlier today that there was a disturbance outside the Canopy Hotel in downtown Minneapolis where 30 people were arrested, and they were basically causing a disturbance. There was some damage to property. There were some who threw snowballs. We are told that one Minneapolis police officer may have been injured, but not seriously injured. So right now we'll take a look, sit back and look at some of the scenes, the things that are happening there in Powderhorn Park.
Ice out! Fuck ice! 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 Ice out! Fuck ice!
Eres venezolano? ¿Tú eres? Oh, okay, okay. I see your flag, so. Yo viví en España.
I kind of only seen right.
We do now have a response from DHS to Ilhan Omar's visit to the Whipple building there in St. Paul. On January 10th, Representatives Ilhan Omar, Angie Craig, and Kelly Morrison led a group of protesters to the Minneapolis ICE facility this morning after a mob of violent protesters attacked and broke into and destroyed parts of several hotels in downtown Minneapolis with the explicit goal of shutting or hunting down ICE officials who they believe may have been staying at their property. And so DHS also, one second, excuse me, goes on to say that they had the goal of shutting down ICE officials who they believe were staying there for the safety of detainees and staff. And in compliance with the agency's mandate, the members of Congress were notified that their visit was improper and out of compliance with existing court orders and policies which mandate the members of Congress must notify ICE at least 7 days in advance of congressional visits. Now, because they were out of compliance with this mandate, Representative Omar and her colleagues were denied entry into the facility. If Congresswoman Omar and her colleagues want to tour the facilities, they must follow the proper guidelines. So that is the response from DHS right now after Ilhan Omar, Angie Craig, and Kelly Morrison tried to access the ICE facility there at the Whipple building. They were denied entrance because ICE officials are telling them they were out of compliance with the mandates that they let them know 7 days in advance before they actually are allowed into the facility to see those ICE agents as well as any detainees that were inside. So DHS has denied that entrance. And they said that if Ilhan Omar and her colleagues want to tour that facility, if they want to see what's going on in there, they must let them know 7 days in advance. And that press conference happened just on the heels of another press conference in Richfield, where people there were upset with Target Corporation, which is based here in the city of Minneapolis. They want Target to stop letting ICE agents stage in their parking lots. They also don't want ICE agents to be able to go into these Target stores and arrest individuals there inside their stores. So a lot going on today. A lot of these protests are happening across the state of Minnesota as well as across the country. People are upset and in support of 37-year-old Renee Good. They want her memory to be remembered. They want her to be remembered, and they also want action. They're telling us they want the agent accused of shooting and killing her, Jonathan Ross, to be arrested, and they also want other ICE agents that are here in the state of Minnesota to get out. Once again, we warn you that you may see some graphic signs in the crowds looking at this video, and you may hear some chants that use expletives. We apologize for that, but it's hard to control the thousands of people that are gathered there in the Powderhorn Park neighborhood, not far from where 37-year-old Renee Good was shot and killed by that ICE agent. We're going to make sure that we bring you the latest information about what's going on with all the protests across our region. Coming up on our newscast on WCCO TV, beginning at 5 and at 6. We hope that you join us then. And Derek James will have the very latest, as well as all of our boots on the ground reporters. And don't forget your next weather full forecast with Lisa Meadows. Thanks for joining us on CBS News Minnesota. And we hope to see you at 5 o'clock on WCCO TV.